What's up everybody, Subaruwrxfan here for another car review. This is of course the 2017 Chevrolet Colorado ZR2. Huge thanks to Tom Henry Chevy for providing me with this very nice ZR2 to review for you guys today. So about the ZR2, well, I mean, just look at it. It looks so awesome and aggressive and off-road ready. And a lot of that is just the stance of this thing. I mean, it's 3.5 inches wider for its track, which helps with additional stability. And you know, you have the more aggressive front bumper there. It's cut away, so you can have more aggressive departure and approach angles, which is very cool. You have, you know, this hood that's a little more aggressive looking as well, in addition to the grille with the ZR2 badge there. Coming over to the sides here, you have these large 31-inch tires, an additional 2 inches of ground clearance, and thanks to that wider track, you have these fender flares that come out here in the front and in the back and really help to give it a cool look. You have these tubular bars going down the sides that look awesome, and out back there you also have, you know, a cooler rear bumper there as well to help with those departure angles once again. And so overall, it's just a really awesome look to it, you know. And I mean, I think the thing that makes it the coolest looking is the fact that, you know, you can see like the Multimatic spool valve shocks and all this functional performance stuff. You know, it's not just garnish or tinsel to make it look cool. These are all functional things, and I think that just makes it look even cooler. And so overall, it's just a really awesome looking truck. Rich, for the interior of the Colorado ZR2, well, it's basically the same as any other Colorado, but overall, a really nice place to be. Anyway, the first things first, sitting down in these seats, very nice, fully leather seats here in all ZR2s, which is a really nice thing. So they basically come kind of fully loaded here. There's just a few options available, but anyway, really nice leather seats here that are standard, you know, Colorado seats. So the bolstering still isn't very aggressive or anything like that, but it's okay. It's a truck, not a big deal. They do have the ZR2 embroidered there on the headrest, which is a nice little touch, but otherwise they're just pretty good seats. They're a little on the firm side, but still overall very comfortable seats. Next is the steering wheel in the Colorado. Same here, you know, for the ZR2 as any other Colorado, which is a really great wheel. You know, it has a nice 9-3 grip, nice little 10-2 notches, leather wrapped, just a few buttons on it. You have the clever little buttons here behind the wheel as well for changing radio stations and things like that. And overall, just a pretty nice steering wheel. Next are the gauges in the Colorado ZR2, which are the same as any other Colorado. It would have been nice if there's a little more differentiation, you know, changing colors, even little things like that would have been nice. But still good gauges nonetheless, you know, just your 4 basic gauges like you always expect. And then you have a nice driver information display there in the center that has all your basic types of information. But it is cool because it does have an enhanced 4-wheel drive mode here for the ZR2. So you can see all of that where, you know, you're able to lock your front and rear differentials electronically, and all that kind of stuff will be mirrored here in the center display, so it'll, you know, give you info on what all is going on with your different you know, drive modes and things like that. So that's a very cool feature to have that there, but otherwise, you know, just your basic gauges, but they get the job done pretty well. Coming over to the center of the dashboard here, again, same Colorado deal where you have the nice 8-inch Chevrolet MyLink touchscreen up top here, which works great. I've always loved it. It has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto and everything you could want. This one does have the navigation option, which is nice to have as well. But yeah, overall, you know, just everything you need there, and so nice and easy to use. You've got your basic volume and tune knobs. All the basics are here, and it's nice to have, you know, good, nice feeling knobs for all those different things. Coming down, you have your climate control knobs, which again, very cool with the little displays inside of the knob there. I always liked that. That was a cool touch. And just a few basic buttons here, and nice and uncluttered and simple. So I really like the way they designed that. And then you come down to your row of buttons here that you have, including, like I said, those toggles here for locking the rear differential and the front. You also have, you know, tow mode. You have hill descent control, which is automatic and is very cool. And you have lights for the truck bed, and then you have your heated seat controls for each seat, and that's it. And so overall, pretty nice and straightforward. As far as storage space in the ZR2, it's pretty good here, you know, as you would expect out of a truck. But anyway, first thing over here in the door, you have 2 different levels here. You have a small little map pocket type deal here in the middle, and then down below you have a bottle holder, which is nice to see, and then you also have another additional map pocket. So very nicely done there. Coming over to the center here, you have a nice large cubby where you also find a USB jack, an auxiliary jack, and a standard power outlet. So nice to have all of that right there. You can fit lots of stuff in there. And then you have 2 cup holders, which which are nice size. You do have a wireless charging pad here, which is cool to have if you have a phone that can do that. And then you have the center armrest, which is nice and softly padded here with this leather. And so anyway, you open that up, and then you have this very deep center console that also just has another USB jack in there, but very deep, a little bit on the narrow side, but I mean, you can fit tons of stuff in there. And so overall, really nicely done storage space there as well. Now the ZR2 is available in two different configurations. You can get the crew cab short box, this is what this one is, and there's also an extended cab long box. So this, like I said, is the crew cab. So because of that, backseat space here is really great. You know, I'm 5'9", me sitting behind myself, I still have about an inch or two to spare of legroom there, so you know, plenty of legroom and good amount of headroom as well. Of course, obviously being a boxy truck design here, I mean, you have all the headroom you could want, and so overall it's a very spacious and nice and comfortable back seat. Again, obviously finished in leather. You have a center armrest that folds down, you have two cup holders in there, you have an additional two USB jacks, another power outlet back there as well, and so overall just a really nice back seat. The truck bed here in the ZR2 is really great as well. Now because of those more aggressive rear bumpers, you don't get the built-in step in the rear bumper, but that's okay. You still have a grab handle, and again, this is the more aggressive one, so that can be forgiven. But it's a large amount of space there, you know, in the short box even, you can fit plenty of stuff. It has the built-in bed liner there that has the ZR2 emblazoned into it there, and overall a good amount of space there. And you know, like I said, you can go for the long box with the extended cab if you do need more space than that. All right, so start up and go for a drive. ZR2 here has, you know, your basic key still, and you also have the keyless entry control there. But anyway, you just slip the key into the slot, put your foot on the brake, and it starts right up. All right, so setting off in the 2017 Chevrolet Colorado ZR2. So first thing to note about this truck, now this is available with a 2.8 liter Duramax turbo diesel 4-cylinder, or you can get the naturally aspirated V6 engine. That's what this one is. It's the 3.6 liter direct injected V6 engine. And so yeah, but either option is great, but you know, this one certainly has more horsepower with 308 versus the lesser horsepower number, but the larger torque number of the diesel. Alright, so just cruising slowly here in the Colorado ZR2. It's really nice and refined, and I mean, aside from the slightly higher ride height here, you feel like you're in a standard Colorado, really. I mean, you might be able to feel a little bit of additional vibration from those much more aggressive tires, but it's really even hard to tell. I mean, it's still really quiet, very refined. I mean, it's amazing just how, you know, it feels exactly like a normal Colorado despite all the more aggressive gear this one has. And, you know, visibility in the Colorado ZR2 is great too, you know, with a large windshield so you can see forward very well. And of course, the additional ride height helps to see everything in front of you as well. View out of the sides is great with large side windows, of course, and view out of the back is great as well there with that pretty large rear window too. All right, so this has the same engine as a standard Colorado, so acceleration should be pretty similar, but let's turn onto the straight road here first though and see how it does. And here we go. It gets up to speed pretty well here. You know, it takes a second for this transmission to kick down. This is the 8-speed automatic, but then it gets up and goes pretty well. 0 to 60 time for these is somewhere around 7 seconds, about the same as, you know, a standard V6 Colorado, and that's plenty, you know, for, you know, a truck that you're going to be taking off road. This isn't, you know, a street attack vehicle or anything like that, you know. So I mean, it's plenty quick enough for any kind of truck, and you know, it's still pretty good performance. And as we're cruising now on a higher speed road here, again, it's still just really amazing how you really don't feel these tires. You know, in other off-road trucks, you know, with super knobby tires, you feel it, and this, it's really impressive just how refined it is. All right, now I know that this truck is an off-road beast, and that's what it's designed to do, not corner carve, but let's take it down this back road here and just get a taste for how it handles some corners here. And it's doing pretty good so far. First thing you notice is the steering weight is really nice. You know, it's a little bit on the lighter side, like you would expect out of a truck, but does feel pretty good overall. Throttle response and brakes all feel pretty good. I really like, there's a good amount of bite right at the top of the brake pedal there, but going around another corner here, and it's pretty flat, I gotta say. I mean, this thing, I think these Multimatic spool valve shocks do a really good job of adapting to whatever it is that you're putting this thing through. And I mean, that's a segment first thing too. Even the Raptor doesn't have these. So I mean, it's a really impressive piece of kit that they have standard here on all the ZR2s. But another acceleration, because why not? Yeah, I mean, this thing for a truck. It gets up and goes really, really well. And I love you don't have to wait for any kind of turbos either. Just naturally aspirated, and you're just put your foot to the floor and you're good to go. But yeah, I mean, as we're going around some more corners here, I mean, it's amazing for a truck that's lifted up, you know, higher than a standard Colorado. This honestly feels like it handles better than a regular Colorado to me. I mean, it's really flat. It's amazing me how flat this thing is when I'm pushing it through these corners. I mean, it's about 4,600 pounds, so it's not, you know, going to feel like the lightest thing in the world. But honestly, I mean, this thing is really doing a good job here, I have to say. I really am impressed with how well this thing handles. So, I mean, yes, although it's obviously an off-road truck, if you do live in a place with some corners, you don't have to worry about them because this thing handles them like a champ. But cruising now at a little bit of a more relaxed pace. If you do listen for it, you can hear the tires. But I mean, these are, again, you're talking about, you know, some aggressive off-road tires, so you can't expect them to be whisper quiet. But otherwise, like I said, it's just amazing how smooth this thing rides. It's really, it's something you could easily daily drive, of course. Just really smooth. And it's kind of nice because even on, you know, this road's a little bit bumpier, and it soaks up those bumps so well that you hardly even notice you're going over them. So this suspension is really impressive. Now, I know everyone's going to want me to off-road this thing, and unfortunately I can't. You know, it's not my truck to off-road, but it is very, very capable. And my buddy that actually went to a demonstration of what these things can do was able to shoot a little bit of video for me and show you guys just what this thing can do. I mean, it was very, very aggressive with the approach there on a ramp that it was going up over, and you know, they were demonstrating how you can, you know, lock the different differentials electronically, the front and the rear separately or together, so that you can climb. And so, you know, no matter how many wheels were slipping, you know, at the last top part there, they even were pulling it with just one wheel doing all the pulling there, and they were able to, you know, get up and over. And, you know, because of those cutaways and the bumpers, you're able to approach things at those really aggressive angles. And with all the travel you have here in this suspension, they even removed the leaf spring set up there and arranged it differently so that you had even more travel there for the wheels. So I mean, it just can cover just about any kind of you know, tarmac or terrain that you can imagine, and do it really, really well. And so it's very impressive, you know, just, you know, so you guys can see a little bit of the capabilities of this thing. But you know, my reviews are always focused on what these things are like to drive on normal roads in daily driving types of scenarios and things like that. And I do have to say that in addition to obviously being very capable off-road, I mean, you've seen probably pictures of these things going over jumps and things like that. These things can catch air all day and be fine, within reason, of course. But you know, so in addition to all those awesome off-road capabilities, you know, it's just very capable on-road here. Like I said, it handles really, really well, way better than you would expect a truck to handle. Honestly, this feels much better on corners than the Raptor even does. And I just really like, you know, the smaller packaging you do have here with the Colorado too, I think helps to give you a little more confidence, and will help you whenever you're going through narrow trails and things like that to have less of a wider stance from a full-size truck. You know, here with the mid-size arrangement in the Colorado, I think it's really an ideal package for this type of thing, and really cool that Chevy decided to offer this. You do sense, you know, once you get up to some higher speeds here and a little bit of sharper corners, you do sense the limitations here of this setup. Again, it's no sports car or anything, but again, for a lifted truck, it's really impressive. I think that 3.5-inch wider track is really what's making a lot of the difference as well here, and making this so much more competent as far as handling on the roads and stuff. But yeah, I just think these things are awesome, you know what I mean? The way they price them too, they're low 40,000s for the ZR2s here. And like I said, they come basically fully loaded with the leather seats, a larger screen and everything, so there's really not too many options you even have to put on. So that's basically where the price stays, is low to mid 40,000s. And I mean, at that price, it really undercuts all the competition, you know, I mean, because Dodge and Ford don't even have mid-sized trucks to offer, honestly. And then, you know, with Toyota and stuff like that, you know, they're not quite as capable. So, you know, really the only thing capability-wise that's impressive is the Raptor, and those are way, way more expensive. And this, I mean, it's got enough power, it's got enough room for most people. You don't need a massive vehicle, you know, this is still plenty big enough, and does all the off-roading you could ask of it, and you know, just does it all for, like I said, a much better price than some of the competition there. So overall, it's a really awesome thing here, and you know, it's I'm not a truck guy myself, but I can certainly appreciate how fun this can be, and like I said, it's a great vehicle on the road here as well. So anyway, huge thanks once again to Tom Henry Chevy for providing me this awesome ZR2 here to review for you guys today. They are getting in several more of these, so if you're interested in one of them, definitely give them a contact in the description below. All their info's down there. You can give them a call, email, whatever, and they'd be more than happy to help you out. So anyway, thank you guys very much for watching. Let me know what you think about the ZR2 in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.